Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Team AC with AliyaCrawford. I'm AliyaCrawford, and my life, career, and travels have afforded me with the opportunity to meet and develop relationships and friendships with fascinating people who are doing fascinating things. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share, and leave a comment. Without further ado, allow me to introduce one of the fiercest women I know, my best friend of almost 40 years, who is a dynamic mother, professional, friend, daughter. Please allow me to reintroduce, because she's been on before, to the Team AC family, Christy Peters, also known as Christy in Coimbra and Christy Goes Global. Hey, Chris.
Hey Lee, thank you for having me. I
Happy
always love
New
watching
Year.
your show. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, we're happy about and excited about this 2026 in spite of
Amen.
some of the craziness that we see going on around the world. But, we're well and we're happy. Thankfully, thank God for that. Of course, we talk almost every day, even though you're now living in Europe and I'm in the United States. But
Yeah.
thankfully, because of technology, we're always connected. So let's get
Amen.
started. Thank you again. You are a woman who wears many hats and always busy and always active. So thank you again for spending some time with us on Team AC.
Of
Like
course.
I just mentioned, we've known each other for over 35 years since junior high school, across cities and across careers, marriages, relationships, children, college. And we, are fortunate that we've always been able to maintain our friendship throughout all of that. But as for you personally, when you take a look at your life thus far, how would you describe what that through line of who you've always been is at your
Hmm.
core?
I would say at my core, I am a pretty even-keeled person. I think at my core, I'm a community builder. I think that's part of the reason. I think we all are in our circle are community builders. I think that's why we've been able to foster our friendship over decades, is because we care for it. And caring for something means, you pay attention to it. You may not be in touch every day, but you understand the value of what it means to be in community with other people who you can build with. And so I think the through line in my life, as much as I didn't recognize that until pretty recently, later in life, is that I'm a community builder. I'm a connector. It's something that's really important to me, not for the sake of money or business, just the fact that I think nobody excels in life alone. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I would agree that you're a community builder. You're a born leader, a natural leader. And so you've always been a person, number one, is not afraid to stand on your own, also not afraid to, be apart from the crowd. But then also you have a tremendous amount of empathy and understanding and compassion for others, So, long before, you moved and became an expat, long before you built a successful career and accomplished all these things and became a wife and a mother, and then just got the opportunity to meet so many different people from around the country and then later around the world. And even before you moved, you were a world traveler. So what was the moment you realized that the world was way bigger than even you maybe realized, or did you always realize that?
No, I know. I can definitely tell you when I realized the world was way bigger than me. And that was when my mother and I were approached about me going to prep school, which is right before I came to Jersey, to South Jersey, where we met. So I was recruited to go to boarding school. And in that process, they talk to you about boarding schools abroad and domestically. And I realized, like, I remember watching Facts of Life when we were children. And I remember, watching them with their boarding school experience. And I was like, oh, they have boarding schools in Switzerland? They have boarding schools in France? I think I want to do that. My mother was like, no, you can go to boarding school, but it will be right here in New Jersey. And so that was a big defining moment in my life. And when I was at Petty, I met kids who were there from all around the world. And I
Hmm.
did not understand, like it was something new to me. They were children of diplomats and, CEOs of foreign companies. And so, going to school with people who had come to New Jersey from South Africa or Hong Kong or Australia, it was an eye-opening experience as a 12 going on 13-year-old. And so that was the moment I knew that the world was far larger than my corner of, New Jersey.
Right, right. And don't quote me on this, people, but I think that people from other countries outside of the United States tend to travel more internationally than people from the United States do, right? So, what do you think that United States Americans may underestimate about how interconnected the world really is?
I will do a twofold answer to that. I do agree that people from other countries travel far more than people in the States. Number one, in Europe, it's very easy to travel, right,
Right.
internationally, because we don't even have to get on a plane. I could literally take a train and be in Spain or in Italy or France. I took a big train trip. I call it my epic train trip, where I left from here in Portugal to go to the Netherlands to see my child. And so the train took me from here to Spain to France to Belgium and then to the Netherlands. So I think it makes it easier for people
Hmm.
who are specifically in Europe to travel. And then
Hmm.
other places, Asians like to travel a lot. They're everywhere. Um, I
Hmm.
just think I think it's just something more ingrained in people in other nations to go and explore more so than the US. So that's number one. I think it just logistically it might be easier, specifically if you're in Europe. The second part of that is I think people underestimate how interconnected we are. Like
Hmm.
Americans, you don't understand really how dependent on other economies you are in the US. I think you're understanding that now because of all the tariff wars and all this other jazz, but you don't
Hmm.
exist in a silo. And I think here specifically, people understand like this place supplies our oil, this place supplies our gas, this place supplies grain. We give them these fruits. You realize that there is no isolationist economy that thrives in this global society. And I think Americans don't really have I'm generalizing, of course, but I feel like Americans don't really have that understanding of how dependent we are on other things. It's not so easy to be like, yeah, we'll make our own cars. Well, who's going to make the chips?
Right.
Who's gonna make the coils? Who's gonna make the seats? Because a lot of that stuff ain't manufactured in the US and you need other people. So if you
So,
were
do
going
you
to do
think that,
that, it would take a long time. Mhm.
not to cut you, but do you think that that's a blind spot that fell away for you in terms of how we really are dependent upon other countries? And
I not to be funny, I don't think it was a blind spot for me
okay.
because we're voracious readers.
Yeah, not in a judgmental way, but more in an illuminating way. Yeah,
Yeah,
not.
yeah, more so here for sure. I think because being abroad, you definitely have access to a lot more resources, a lot more news, a lot more conversations with people who live from other countries, more so than we do in the States, I think. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, definitely that is a blind spot that fell away of just how interconnected we are logistically.
Right.
That for sure was very enlightening to know that Ukraine with the war in with Ukraine. I hate to say the war, be attacked by Russia right now. You realize how important that area is because it's basically the grain bowl of Europe and Africa. So if that, for whatever reason, if that falls, it will have a global impact on the world because of the food chain. And I don't
Mhm.
think a lot of people understand that. So when you're here, because we're so immediately close, I think we have more conversations about it.
Right. And I think, in recent years, people have really started to see that a lot of these things, there's a lot of correlation and moving parts between individuals, between organizations, between institutions, between countries. And like with the tariffs, for instance, you see, okay, this is going to affect the whole, like you said, supply chain from the top down, your the pricing of things, the availability of things. So, it's interesting, to look at, and also, like we said, illuminating when you get to see these things from different perspectives.
I would say this too, you can feel however you want about immigration or migration or whatever. I can tell you a very real impact right here for us living in Portugal as Americans, as immigrants here. We can't ship things to you guys right now, to the US. Like they won't do it. And we can't receive things really by and large from the US. So that's impactful, not even for people who have made the conscious decision to be here, but if people have been relocated abroad, because that happens for jobs, right? You have corporate
Mhm.
relocation. That's not something like people will be like, oh, you picked it being over there. Yeah, but I didn't pick not being able to send stuff to my people. But because of the political landscape right now, that's not a thing. Like it's literally not a thing. People were affected by that for Christmas, right? People have loved ones abroad there and here,
Mhm.
and they cannot send packages. And so think about people who serve in the military. Think about people again who
That's what I was
are
just going to say, the military. And we have
right.
people all over the world, people serving all over the world.
Right. So they're not picking to, to combat that argument like, oh, because that's the thing people say, you want it to be abroad. Yeah, but those people may not have made the same choice I did, and they still should be able to communicate with their people. And we can. I mean, we can send letters, but even that is difficult sometimes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to shift gears a little bit. I consider myself to be a Renaissance woman and a polyglot, someone who works in many different areas, and I consider you to be that as well. Your background is across finance, real estate, construction, entrepreneurship, and now, being a real estate executive in a foreign country, a country that you weren't born in and that you're not native to. So, do you ever, considering that, do people ever pressure you, or do you ever feel pressure or think like I should, just stay in one lane and focus on that? What's your
um,
perspective?
sometimes I agree with you. I think we are women of many talents. And I think a lot of times when you see people, you talk to people who have a lot of talents and a lot of interests, and I'm not even being funny. I know the haters gonna hate, but when but when you are good at many things, because I'm good at many things, y'all can hate on, leave the comments. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, that's real. Just seriously, I that's a fact. That's not my opinion. I'm good at many things. And so it's very hard sometimes. Sometimes that can be paralyzing because you don't know, should I just be focused on this one thing? And if the rest of the things really feed my soul, what do I sacrifice? And so I've come to realize I don't have to do that. I I
Hmm.
I dabble in all of them. I love to cook, you know that. So I have a cooking little channel, and I'm not doing it for like big bucks. I'm doing it because it feeds my soul and it's something I'm good at and that I'm interested in. So yeah, there is pressure sometimes to be like, am I being a jack of all trades? And that can happen. But
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. I think my main thing I stick to, which is real estate, because that's what I've done my entire adult career,
Hmm.
do that, but I give myself the space to try other things and to do them where they're not always where I'm doing it like I gotta make $1 million at every single one of these things. If that
Right.
happens, beautiful, but that's not my focus. My focus is yes, my primary line of business. This is how I feed myself. This is how I eat. But I'm never going to chop off parts of myself because somebody else told me I can only do one thing. I can do many things.
Exactly, exactly. And I think the same goes for me because, and a lot of people who know me know I'm a publicist, an entertainment publicist, been doing that for over 25 years, but I'm also a filmmaker, have been a
Yeah.
filmmaker. That's not new.
Nope.
My career in that lane, or my projects in that lane, may not be as prominent yet as my career in PR. And I recently ran for and won a seat on the school board, and people are like, oh, why are you doing this, Aaliyah?
Yes.
And I have now I have a podcast, and I have, I'm a content creator. But it's not always about what you want to do, but it's about what you can do.
Yep. I
And
totally
like you said, if I can do it and I have a desire to do it and a passion for it, why not? I don't
agree.
I don't have to limit myself.
Exactly. Like I know you to be a gifted filmmaker. I know you to be a gifted PR, a publicist. I know you to be gifted at many things. And so you would be
And I
doing
could cook
yourself.
too.
Oh, you do cook. That's true. We
Cook
learn in
down.
the kitchen.
We
So
both
it's
we both can cook down. Don't play with us.
we
Okay.
do, we do, and have with
And did
together collectively.
and
So
will.
right. And it's nothing, again, you have different seasons of life, right? Like you said, that is for your filmmaking, that might be a latter part of your season where you're more known for that then. Because you have continued your craft. It just, like you said, may not be as prominent. But when I'm later in life, that might be the thing I want to concentrate on. I know for me personally, uh, later in life, my concentration probably will be on cooking and doing global travel kind of talk show, kind of like the lady somebody feeds Phil or Tony Bourdain, because
Yeah.
that feeds who I am. I love to travel. I love to connect people culturally, and I love to cook, and I love to learn about other cuisine. So if I let that part of me die right now, I feel like I would be out of practice. I need that for my next chapters, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think Solange has said that before about there were so many parts of herself that she didn't want to break parts of herself off. And
Mm.
it made so much sense to me because you are a universe. Why would you just, you don't have to even be good at something, but why would you limit yourself at one thing? Why would you not explore it all and see what feeds you? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's key what you said. Like you don't have to be good at something, but you can get good. Because a lot of people don't realize that they think that you have to be born with a natural gift or natural talent to do something. No, that is certainly going to help and maybe give you a leg up on other people. But people also, I think, when they you have that way of thinking, you underestimate how much work it still takes for people to be successful. So even if
yes,
you are born with natural gifts, for you to ascend in certain areas, you still have to hone a whole lot of skill and put
I
a
mean,
whole lot of hours in to be
exactly.
great.
Look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson
Mhm,
was a beast when it came to his craft, right? He was
mhm,
naturally talented. There will never
right.
be another Michael. Beyonce, she's naturally talented. But when you see that woman, she's a beast about
Mhm.
refining and perfecting her craft. So I think it very much goes to what you just said. Yeah, it's good to have a natural talent. But if you're going to be excellent, and I mean, everybody wants to be good at something, but if you want to be with no peers at the top, no matter how good you are naturally, you're going to have to practice and refine it. And that's what I try to do.
Yeah, and it's good to try new things. Like, obviously we've all both been using social media for years, decades now, but like you were in your space on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm like, Christy, you got to get on YouTube, you got to get on TikTok.
Yeah,
People want to hear from you, and they want to hear what
very
you have
hesitant.
to say. And now you have really grown and flourished on these platforms, and you can see how many people are interested in your content and how people respond to you and communicate with you, and even you've gotten opportunities from those platforms, right?
Definitely. I definitely have gotten opportunities from that. And I think, and I, first of all, I thank you, Aaliyah, because that's what your circle should do, right? Your circle should, iron sharpens iron. And your
Right.
circle should not just blow smoke up your butt. Your circle should be telling you when you need to expand or at least be thinking about expanding. So our circle, I can, I'm very blessed. My circle, my girls are, top tier. They're very rare in the world. And so
Yeah.
push, I think we all push each other, but that did definitely push me because I was very uncomfortable with social media. I mean, we're all on Facebook because it's an easy way, been on there for years to connect with people. But as far as sitting in front of a camera, Aaliyah, no, I'm shy but not shy. Like I'm a
Mm.
I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I like people, we gonna have a good time, but then you're gonna have to get the hell on. Like I'm an only
Had
child, so
something in my eye. I'm sorry.
it's okay, it's okay.
Keep talking. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
it's okay. So I'm an only child, and so for me, I'm very much a loner sometimes. Although people always are shocked when I say that because they see me out and about. I know how to be sociable, but my default is really to be a loner. And so, you know, the idea of making content was not something that came naturally to me at all. Now, once I'm in my bag, I'm in my bag. but I'm uncomfortable. Like I don't like having a picture taken. I don't like sitting in front of like it's not me. I've never been like, oh, I want to
Right,
be a
like
spot.
me, and I'm also an introverted extrovert. But when the
Right.
camera come on, baby, I'm gonna be like,
Exactly. Yeah, right. Because I think we know, I think that's also a natural talent, though. Like when you say we're leaders, I think if you're born, and some people are, and if you're not, no shade, there's nothing wrong with that.
mm-hmm,
There's a role for everybody, but I do think we're natural leaders, especially when it's something we're passionate about. Like this is not the most comfortable thing for me, but I'm in my bag right now because I'm passionate about sharing my story, about hopefully inspiring other people
mm-hmm,
to reach out for their dreams, even if it seems like outlandish or no one's supporting you. You don't know until you do it, right? And so it's okay to be uncomfortable. Like everybody was bad at something before they were good at it. I don't care how talented you are.
right, exactly, exactly. And sometimes you are really good at something and you don't even know you're good at it
Right.
until
And
you try or until you have the right coaching or the right mentorship or leadership. People can pull things out of you and you actually can end up being one of the very best, and you all the whole while didn't even know that you could do this thing, and you're actually very good at it.
amen. That's why it's important about the company you keep, right? It's like what that saying says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have people who will challenge you, push you, elevate you, encourage you, then you may not grow. Yes, can you do it, but you'll do it slower, more than likely. And also we sometimes people see things in you can't see in yourself because of whatever. We all have a baggage we carry. We all have a backstory, and sometimes that background can give you the most negative voice when everybody around you sees something different. But when you look in the mirror, you see this small person, this small thing, and you need somebody else sometimes to be like, that's not you at all. You are worthy to do this. You are capable. So yeah, like you said, it's not something that I would have ever thought I'd like to do, but now I like to do it because I like to learn. And so
Yeah,
now that I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It's cool. It's all
yeah,
right.
yeah. And it's like, you gotta always, it's important. You don't have to do anything, but it's
Right.
important to be open to changing and trying new things. And we're women of a certain age, so we've
You
been
can say my age, baby. I ain't shame. I'm 49, about to be 50, look damn
experimenting.
good. So, you know,
I'm not going to put
something
it
on
out
y'all.
there. You put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So people could guess my age, because I'm actually older than her, only by a month.
By like by an hour.
Actually by 29 days.
29 days. Yes, you are.
So
You are.
yeah.
You
So
are.
we're going to do a big celebration for our 50th birthdays later this year, and so there's a lot of fear around aging, particularly for women. How do you feel, at your age now, when you're actually bigger and more global, more skilled, and more free now than maybe when you were at 25?
Yeah, I
And
definitely.
you look good too.
Thank you, Buso. Like I said, the company you keep. So I feel like, some things are very cliche. You hear women say that, like, when you get older, you are going to be freer. And it's true because you're less fearful of being judged. And I don't know if that's because we have that sense, like something internally that, your runway is getting shorter as we age. So you might as well go for it. But I can definitely say I'm more confident in who I am. I'm more confident in expressing my voice and saying when I don't like something, when I'm
Mhm.
uncomfortable with something, when I won't do something, and not explaining myself. Like they say, no is a full sentence. I
Yeah,
am very comfortable now saying, I just don't want to. When people are like, why? What? No, there is no why. I just don't want to. And that is enough. And I think you get that as you age because you don't have the fear of being ostracized, right? You're like, I
mhm,
didn't survive this long. I have the friends I need. I'm okay. I ain't looking for no new friends. And so, yeah, I think 50-year-old me, almost 50-year-old me, is in some ways I'm very much the same. I've been old soul since I was a child, but it's funny. If you had asked me that before, I would have said, I feel very confident. I feel very outspoken. But I do see, even in the past 3 years, how much I've grown in that area. How much more assertive I am about when something's not working for me, or when something makes me uncomfortable, because I'm always, I wouldn't say a people pleaser, but I want there to be peace. And I always want people to be happy. And I had to realize I can't make sure everybody else is happy if it's making me miserable. And
Hmm.
so you understand that as you get older, like it's not your job. It's like it's impossible. It's impossible to do. It's not your job to make sure everybody on the planet is well. You do what you
Yeah,
can. You do your
you'll
best.
exhaust yourself trying to do
Yeah,
that.
but you got to take care of yourself first. And I'm more comfortable with doing that at this point.
So, what do you now know about time that you wished younger women and even older women understood at this stage in your life? What do you know about time? What do you feel about time?
I feel like we're always facing a clock, right? Everybody's always like living their life by the clock. And I think the only clock that matters is your own. There's no finite, like nobody knows the hour of the day, right? You can have the best laid
Mhm.
plans. And I think for me, time is treating all the time like it's all I have, right? I
Mhm.
don't want to, I don't want to not travel the world because I'm like, oh, I'll do it in, 20 years. 20 years may not come. I mean, it's going to come from me because I'm determined to live to be 104. But
Mhm.
but who knows, right? And so I think you're constantly putting pressure on yourself about having a timetable. And I don't think you should attach that to time. I think it should be rather a series of goals, and they take however long they take. So I
Mhm.
think that really goes to knowing yourself and asking yourself the important questions. What is it that I want to achieve? What is the legacy I want to leave? What are the things that light me up? And I'm going to focus on that rather than I need to do it by 5 years from now.
Mhm.
I don't work. Before, I used to look at it like that, like, oh, if I don't achieve this by the time I'm 40, I'm a failure. I mean, even at this age, I look at things like, oh, I thought I would have done more in this area by now. And I'm like, no, it takes the time that it takes. This
Mhm.
is the whole point of having this experience, is to have the experience of being a
Right.
human being. It is not to watch a made up clock. So I think I wish I had known that sooner. The value of exploring myself more deeply rather than exploring myself based on some random timetable that somebody else told me.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. And like you said, savoring our time, because for me, I know what I wished I had done when I was younger is really, and even now, it's something I have to work on, is being in the moment and savoring the moment, and not just, being so distracted, I guess,
Mhm.
about different things, that you're really not savoring all of these amazing experiences. And that is an important lesson for me. And we all know time is relative. Everybody doesn't know that, but in my opinion, time is relative. Time, in the way we know it, doesn't really exist, but it's a way to categorize things and keep things in a certain order. So I think young people sometimes, there's this notion that, you don't have enough time, or your time is limited. And I would challenge that, because I think we have a lot of time. It's, again, how we categorize it. And our time is actually unlimited, because we can choose how we want to spend our time, and always make it valuable, and always make it significant and important to us. And then, now at this stage in my life, I think, again, is something that people are socialized to believe, that, like, things go downhill as you get older in age. But I don't see it that way.
Agreed.
I feel like I've always had a good life, but my life is getting exponentially better with age.
Agree.
Yeah, and maybe it's my mindset, but I just think so, because I've learned, I've grown, I've, stepped into my own voice and my own passions and my own beliefs.
I agree with you completely. I think if there was anything I wish that a young woman watching this would take away, is explore yourself more deeply. Do not tie it to a timetable. I know we're like, oh, I got to finish college by the time I'm 21. Yeah, that's great if you do it. But let's say there's a phenomenal opportunity for you to go study rocks, and rocks have always been your passion. Then you should take a year to go study rocks, right? And if that's going to throw off your graduation date by a year, so what? You
Mm-hmm.
will never, ever have that experience again, right? You will
Right.
never be. If somebody presents this phenomenal, if somebody said to me, "Oh, you get to go cook in Patagonia," I would be on the first thing smoking. If I could go
Mhm.
cook with some world renowned, like, do I have a timetable of things I would like to achieve? Oh, of course. But if there's something that I know that also feeds me, I am not going to limit myself to that made up clock you're talking
Right.
about. And I think as young people, men and women, young boys and young girls, we get the messaging that everything has to happen by this certain timetable. I think when you are fully checked in with yourself, all of that other stuff that you're looking to come comes.
Mm-hmm.
Like money comes, the recognition comes, but more importantly, you come, you become. You are a stronger version of yourself because you realize I did something unexpected. I met that challenge and I excelled at it, or I had this deeper experience that nobody else was brave enough to do.
And
So
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, because sometimes also these different experiences that might be a little bit off course, they may give you the discipline, they may give you the perseverance that you need to accomplish your goals, so that you are then aligned with your goals. You may have a goal, but you may not have the character for it. You may not yet have the discipline for it, or the habits for it, to actually
absolutely.
accomplish it. So it may be better for you to go and experience other things than be so set on this goal, when you may set about this to achieve this goal, and you're not able to do it because you don't have the other characteristics and habits and attributes that you need to accomplish the goal.
I think that's excellent insight, Aaliyah. That's very profound, and I think that's I know that to be true. I know that to be true because, you know, even though there's phenomenal opportunities, sometimes you're not ready for that phenomenal opportunity. Like you said, because you don't have the discipline. You may be disciplined in a lot of ways, but for you to have success in that particular thing, you might need some life lessons, and you will get that by getting outside of your comfort zone and pursuing something that makes you learn and humbles you sometimes.
There's an old saying that says your talent can get you in rooms that your character can't keep you
Listen, that's the
in.
truth. That's the truth. It's a
Hmm.
word. It's a
And like
word.
he said, it's not about our goals, it's about our habits. Because, like, if you have a goal to be a certain size, or have a certain physique, right? That's a goal. But unless you have those habits that are going to get you there,
Amen.
in
Amen.
that case, in that sense, the goal is not more important than the habits.
No, I'm really deeply in this moment into the neuroscience and the function. I've always loved how the brain works, but I'm deeply
Hmm.
into that neuroplasticity and training your
Yeah.
mind and training your brain. And it's so true. We are creatures of habit. You will know if that could be good habits or bad, but you're training your brain to respond all the time. I'm going to be very candid with your audience here, and you'll find out if we ever talk again and I share more. I'm very candid about my life. So I don't know if you remember when I was having anxiety and I was pulling my hair. I was pulling my
Yeah.
hair out, and I didn't even know I was
And you were
pulling my
doing that since we were kids, when you were
Mhm.
pulling your lashes out.
Pulling my lashes, and then I started pulling my actual
And you
hair,
pulled out a whole spot.
a patch like this, and I didn't even because I have a lot of hair, it wasn't noticeable. But
Hmm.
when I would part my hair, that's when I saw it. And so I'm saying that about habit. It wasn't even so much after I spoke with, a professional about it, like what is happening? It was anxiety, but also because my habit was I was doing it mostly when I was sitting idle, when I would be zoning out or trying to zone out because I was having a stressful day. And my hand would just go there automatically. Like automatically. I had to wear a rubber band to like pop myself out of that
Hmm.
chain. And it wasn't even that, it was more so even after I've dealt with the anxiety and the stress and the worry, it was because it was habit. It was just habit. Like I knew if I like my body, not even consciously, my body said, "Oh, you're sitting down, you're doing this thing. Oh, that's what we do when we sit down. We do this." And I was like, "Oh, hell no." but it's consistency of anything, good or bad. You're
Yeah.
training your brain with consistency. So you have to redirect yourself to positive things and be consistent in that. I will tell you, the habits you have, like making your bed, that's an important habit because it trains your brain for, this is how we get ready for the day. When I make this bed, it means it's on, it's business, it's popping. It's the brain's way. It doesn't recognize good or bad. It just recognizes the pattern. And
Yes,
so
it
you have,
recognizes patterns. And like me, I am a big believer in affirmations and mantras and as above, so below, and all those things, right? And so one of my daily affirmations is everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me, right? So
yeah,
just stuff like that. And people think it's woo woo, but it's really not because you're conditioning your brain,
yes,
you're conditioning, your frequency. So even, and so then, like by me saying that, right? Say if something isn't working out, quote unquote, right? Because
mhm,
I really believe it is working out for me. But say in the moment, I'm not even going to perceive that it's not working out for me because I've already conditioned. I'm not going to pick up on anything. It's
exactly.
not going to be in my field. From my perspective, everything is going to, I'm going to perceive everything as is working out for me because I've conditioned my brain to only see that.
And your brain is going to start looking for ways to affirm that.
Hmm.
Like I know people, and this is not woo woo stuff. This is actual neuroscience. That like there's a doctor.
Right.
He's a
Yeah, that's why
neurosurgeon.
I said, it's not
Yeah,
woo.
but it's
We
not woo woo. There, I forget his name now, and I'll probably give it to you later for your
is
show
it
notes.
Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Is that
Joseph
him? He
Dispenza?
passed away recently.
Oh
He
no, no,
passed.
no, 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 no,
Okay. This
no.
doctor, he's very well known from Stanford, neurosurgeon, very, very big, but neuroplasticity, like he's well recognized, but he recently passed away. But you're saying is exactly what he says as a person who has great proficiency with the brain, is that when you tell yourself something like that, your brain automatically looks for ways to affirm that. So if you're telling yourself in that, like, let's say there was a day that quote unquote, it didn't look like it was working out for you. Your brain is going to say, but it's supposed to work out for me. So what do I need to do to fix this? Whereas
Mhm.
if you didn't train your brain, it would start panicking. But your brain, now you've conditioned it so much, it's like, yeah, everything is supposed to work out for us. So how do I make this happen? It's a
Yeah.
real
It's
thing.
like if you're a soldier or you're
Exactly.
law enforcement and you're trained a certain way to fight. So things that might scare or cause anxiety in another person, you're still
Exactly.
trained to persevere through those things or to find a way to survive or to find a way to win, regardless of anything that's going on
That's all
externally.
they're doing. That's all that is conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Your conditioning and the consistency of such. Consistency with your conditioning will make you unstoppable. And like what you said earlier, you might have talent, but that character and that consistency are what's going to elevate
And
you.
your habits, yeah.
And
It's
your
going to
habits will
allow you to
separate you from the
persevere.
crowd. Yeah, it will separate you from the crowd. So that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you have to labor hard. Let's not mistake that. It doesn't mean you have to work like a dog. It means that you have to be consistent
Consistent.
with yourself. I know for me, this year has been, I forget where I saw this. It was a man giving a talk. We're very similar that way. I'm very big into affirmations and
Mm-hmm.
listening to things that will elevate me and expand my mind. And I can't remember the gentleman who said this, but he was like, do it now.
Yeah.
Everything. Tell yourself, do it now. I can't even tell you how life changing that has been for me because
Yeah.
I'm human. Everybody wants to put something off till tomorrow, right? You're like, oh, I don't feel like rolling my hair tonight. And every time now, I have trained my brain to be like, do it now. And what do? I get up because
Yeah.
I have told myself so much now to do it now that my house is more in order. Everything is more in order because I'm like, I can't leave that dish. I got to do it now, because it's only, I mean, I don't keep a dirty house, but if you have a glass in the sink, you're like, oh, I'll do it later. Nope,
But
do it
how
now.
you do one thing is how you do everything.
Exactly. And it's so pleasant because then you come in and you're like, oh, everything's organized. You know why? Because you did it then. Like when you did it when it was in your mind to do it instead of putting it off. That is the habit. That's the discipline of saying, I'm going to do the thing that 9 other people will probably be like, it's fine. It's fine. No, 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 no. you are going to be the exception because you're not even doing something 100% more than someone else. You're doing it 1% more. That 1%
Right.
is going to take you way past your peers. I can assure you of that. Do it
Yeah.
now.
So we're talking about, like how we motivate ourselves and stay on track and stay disciplined and pursue our goals. How do you, like, for someone who is watching and they may feel trapped, be it physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, what is the shift that needs to happen, like inside them, before they can, really make that move or take that step that they need to? What do you think? Or what's a shift that's happened in you internally that, like you said that was really life changing for you, like the do it now thing, right? But is there
Sure.
anything else you could share?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, besides prayer, I pray about everything. I'm not I think my spirituality is different than my Christianity. I don't practice that so much, although I do believe there might have been a Christ figure. And I think Christianity is a beautiful thing when practiced as it was taught, not for what people are calling Christianity now. But I am a prayerful person. I believe we're all connected to the great source and that you also are source. So it's basically kind of praying to yourself, but praying to the God outside of yourself. So I would say the biggest thing for me is prayer for direction. But besides that, is understanding nobody's responsible for me. Nobody's
Mhm.
responsible for me. Nobody's coming. Like I always tell myself, ain't nobody coming to the rescue. Like people can because they don't have to. That's the other part is
Yeah.
that people are very entitled to you. No one's entitled to you. If somebody wants to do for you, that's beautiful. If somebody wants to help you, if you have a village, which I hope people do, that supports you, that's a beautiful thing. But do not be so dependent where you can't be a self motivator. So
Mhm.
for me,
Mhm.
it's about understanding that if I'm not motivated about myself, if I'm not serious about myself, then why would I expect anybody? Look, you can't come half stepping with me because I don't half step with me. Like I'm
Right.
never gonna look, I spoil her. So you're gonna have to
Yeah.
spoil me. Like in order for you to be worth my time, whether it be friend, lover, or whatever, or a potential business partner, if you can't give me the level of care that I give myself, we can't talk. And I think
Yeah.
that you have to understand your value and then be consistent with yourself and understand that nobody is obligated to rescue you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Self-preservation is key. Like they say on an airplane, put your oxygen mask on first before you can help anyone. And sometimes we are kind of made to believe that no, you have to be so selfless, and you have to be just, and it's two extremes, right? Because I think in the United States, for instance, people have gotten away from community. People have gotten away from really understanding the importance of nuclear families and also extended family, and how that keeps us, especially in challenging times. So I'm a person that believes strongly in family, nuclear and extended family. I believe in community. I believe in coalitions, so it's that, but you also have to take care of yourself and honor yourself. Take care of yourself physically. It's not just one thing, it's a comprehensive 360-degree thing. We all stumble sometimes, but
Of
we got to
course.
keep our weight, our bodies together.
Of
We got to
course.
keep our minds together, our hearts, and
But
our
taking care of
souls.
yourself is not selfish because that's the way for me, I have a child and I have a mom, and so for me, taking care of myself allows me to take care of them. If I
Hmm.
let myself break down, period, I know I can't be what I want to be for them. I cannot be the support that I fully want to be for my mother and my child.
Hmm.
So it's like, do I run myself ragged because if I die, because I'm not taking care of myself, then they're on their own. And that's something I do not want. So it's again, like you said, people take that to an extreme. Of course, you're selfless. You know that I will give anybody the shirt
Hmm.
off my back with no with no qualms because I'll get another shirt. Like that's not even a question. It's just the fact that when I'm saying care for yourself is that you have to determine what your value is and be good to yourself so that when other people come into your orbit, whether it be friend, lover, or business, that they know you set the standard for yourself. They
Mhm.
know how what you will or will not tolerate so that you cannot have to be reiterating all the time. That's
Yeah.
exhausting.
And it's like, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier about like your environment and even how you keep that. So when people step into your environment, they see what type of vibe it is already. You know, they see, okay, this is what he's on or he's on. This is how they treat themselves. So I have to act accordingly. I have to be, if I come in here and it's peaceful, looks peaceful, I have to stay peaceful. I got to stay on their page. Right. You know what Lionel Richie told me one time? I had the pleasure of going to Lionel Richie's home in Beverly Hills. And he said that he always does meetings at his home. He said that, you know, people say, let's do lunch, let's do dinner. He said, no, come to my house. And he
Okay.
said, because he wants people to see what the baseline is.
Boom.
So he's like, and he has
We here, Lionel Richie. We here.
so it's like, oh, you may have to go back to the drawing board with what you thought you were about to offer me because this is where I'm at already.
Exactly, exactly. It really is about, like you said, energy shifting and being on a certain vibration. You know, I love to entertain. You know, my thing is I will set my table. My table's set right now. If you ask me to go into my dining room and look at my table gonna look like I'm about to have a dinner party, baby. I ain't sat at that table, I don't even know how long. But
Go sit
it
at it.
makes
Go sit at it. Eat your dinner. Enjoy it.
right.
You gotta
It
enjoy it
makes
sometimes
it
too.
yeah, it
Even
makes
though you
me.
do enjoy looking at it though.
Yeah, I do. I very much enjoy looking at my tail. I'm a Libra. It's a thing of beauty, right? We like to be
Mhm.
surrounded by beautiful things, but it makes me feel like that's what I deserve when I come in the door, and also that's what my guests deserve. If you bless me with your presence, I want you to feel like it is an experience for me because it is. You don't have to come visit me. You don't have to be around me. So if you do me the privilege of coming into my home, I want there to be fresh flowers for you. I want you to look at that and be like, I don't do that at my house. This is really enjoyable. You know, I want that to be a vibe for you, you know,
Right.
as much as I can, because I do think it's an honor for people to come to your home. That's why you don't invite everybody to your home. Everybody ain't worthy of that. And
Mhm.
so if
I meet
you
you on the porch.
right, right. I'll see you outside, right? We'll meet at the restaurant.
Oh,
But
right, right, right.
right. But if that's the case, if you do come into my space and you do honor me enough to give me your presence, I want it to feel like it mattered to me. And I also want it to feel like it matters to myself when I walk in my door. I don't want chaos in my home when I come home. I
Yeah.
want it to be, I feel like the woman I am uh, wanting to be and the woman that I already am. I want it to be a peaceful, lovely, luxurious vibe when I come. And I don't mean luxury as in it has to be high end, this and that. I mean the vibe of it's clean, it's orderly, it's to my liking. This is what it is. So I totally understand what Lionel Richie was saying. Like this is the baseline. And if you decide you're a person of chaos, you automatically your spirit ain't gonna be right. Your spirit is gonna be bothered when you come into my house. It's happened. Your spirit is not gonna rest right because it's not your vibe. Nothing wrong with that. Like there's a lid for every
Mhm.
pot. If you're Oscar Madison, you need to find another Oscar Madison. They're
Yeah,
out
yeah, and I mean, you know how it
there.
is. You already know. Like we walk into certain rooms, or people walk into certain rooms with us, and they like, they about to.
Right, right. And that's what should happen. It should shift.
They
You
like,
it should
yeah,
be good or
they
bad.
like, yeah, and it's like, okay, good. I'm not for everybody.
Absolutely. And exactly. Like I understand that. I think I'm a pretty decent person, but I'm not everybody's taste. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, but sometimes you know your energy is and people. They're you already know. It goes
yeah,
without
but
saying.
that's why that's the beauty of the human
Sometimes
existence,
their
right?
energy is too big for certain people.
Right. And you find
Not
your
to sound
tribe.
cocky or anything, but this is just facts.
Yeah, it's true. Like you have to understand there ain't nobody ever gonna ever tell me I'm not a vibe. I know I'm a vibe. And I don't mean that like I don't have my off days. Of course I do. And my asshole some days, of course I am. But overall, if you're with me, it's a privilege and an honor to
It's
be
like trying to pour a 2 liter drink. full of drink into a cup.
Right.
It's not going to fit.
It's
There's
not gonna work.
no disrespect to the cup, but it's just
Right. Right. But that ain't the right vessel for me. It just
yeah.
isn't. And it's okay. And it's okay to be confident of that. I know that I have a lot to offer as a human being. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm saying as being a person who wants to be in community with you, who will, I want to see you thrive just like I want to see myself thrive. That's no bullshit. To my detriment sometimes. I want everybody to come up. I want everybody to have a good life. But there are some people that that's not their thing. You know, that's not their thing. And good. I don't need to be in that space with those people. I
Hmm.
need to be in space with people who want to be in community, who want to build, who want to connect, who understand that there's no person who thrives as an individual. Yes, we have our individual moments, but as far as a world, like the world is set up that way. I don't care what the hell your religion is. The world, the universe, the actual world is a symbiotic place. Like the trees need you and you need the trees, and then the bees need us and we need the bees. Like
And, and,
that's the way
and
the world
and because I learned a few years ago, do you know if like the world cannot exist without ants? I
is.
can't
Exactly.
explain the exact science to you right now, but believe
But
me,
it's
go look
true.
it up. Okay, ants are essential to
Well,
our
they
existence.
yeah, they do the tunnels. Like it's something about how they do the soil and the tunnels and all that. I remember seeing something about that before. But it's true. Like the smallest thing, right? You step on an ant and people don't think it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a
Yeah,
big
yeah. Um, my niece and my little dog, my little pup nephew just came in here. So if you hear that in the background, my niece is doing a good job at keeping him quiet.
deal.
But
That's so
speaking
beautiful.
about how we live in a symbiotic universe and we all need each other, and honestly, this earth, all of this stuff, this is all our home, this country, this earth, um,
Absolutely.
all over the world. And that's why, I believe that's one of the reasons why you have been able to go and make a home outside of the country that you were born in. So can you, and now we know we live in a global world, right? I guess maybe more so than ever because of technology and how we're able to connect and see things and all that stuff. So how can one, especially in this ever evolving world and geopolitical climates and all the stuff that's going on all over the world, right? So how can one go global? A lot of people want to be global, right? um in a lot of different ways, but how can someone go global without losing their soul?
Just by understanding that you have as much to give and to receive from the next person as anyone else. Like a
Mhm.
global for me, a global philosophy is like I'm here in Portugal, right? And there's a lot of conversation even here about immigration. And a lot of the conversation here is about, oh, certain immigrants don't want to integrate. They want to speak their language. There's a difference between integration and assimilation. Like I belong to this Portuguese political group, and I think we don't respect that enough. You don't want everybody to assimilate fully. That would be a boring world. That's why we love different cuisines, right? That's why you go to Chinese restaurant or you go to the Mexican restaurant, whatever, because there's a beauty in that. It's a beauty to hear other people's languages. It's a beauty to that. Oh, I love it. So I think by going global is to understand that there is something that everybody, wherever you go, has to offer and being curious about it. I
Mhm.
think curiosity is the best thing of how you go global. Understanding that you don't know everything. You don't, your country doesn't have the lock on greatness, whichever country.
Right.
Nobody has
Mhm.
that. We're all great because of each other.
Yeah.
And migration has been happening since people roamed the earth. And so it's nothing new. The earth belongs to all of us. So I personally feel if I want to go live in Timbuktu, I have the right to do so. Yes, that's not being disrespectful of anyone's borders or the way they manage their country. You know, I won't get into that. A country has a right to decide, I suppose, because that's what the majority have decided of how they allow people to cross their borders. But at the end of the day, I think the world belongs to everyone. So if you're not there to do harm or to be super extractive, from that community, you should have a right to explore it.
Mhm.
That's what people have always done. A border is a man-made thing, right? And so I understand for safety, managing that process. I get that. But we all have something to give to each other. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we understand, like, oh, Black people don't have tails. I'm just being outlandish. But there are people in the world who believe crazy things about other people because they never see them,
Mhm.
And so
Or they see inaccurate portrayals of
portrayals of them, right?
people. Mhm.
So by going global, have a first of all curiosity mindset. Even if you can't, please get a passport for the love of God. I don't care who you are, get a passport. And even if you have to save to take one trip, I don't care if it's the closest country to you, go somewhere else and just see what the world has to offer. And if you can't do that, read about places. Be curious about other people's culture. Be curious
Mhm.
as to how their language evolved. Be curious about their customs and their practices, because at the end of the day, we're really not that different.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I learned to do recently, or that I've been doing recently, not that I learned to do, I always give thanks every day and gratitude, but I've learned to say thank you in different languages. I knew already how to say thank you in some languages, but now I've learned to say thank you in even other languages. So in Chinese and Japanese, and I already knew how to say it in Portuguese, like obrigada.
Absolutely, obrigada. Absolutely, that's a beautiful thing. It's how we give respect to someone else.
Mhm.
I can come and bring my hopefully the best part of my Americanism at the same time respecting.
My nephew pup Theo will not let us continue to
It's
be great.
maybe he's talking to remind me of my Mercy. I had a dog that was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe
I
it's
take
actually making
you
me
to
happy.
Mercy.
Yeah, he's making me happy actually. So, but yeah, I think that what you're doing, something so small of paying respect so that when you do go to a place, you know how to say something which we should all know how to say is
Mhm,
thank you. Or trying to, you don't have to go to a country and learn their entire language. That's an impossibility when you're visiting. But there should be some basic respect to learn how to say hello and thank
mhm,
you.
and thank
Because
you.
yeah, it just shows that I'm making an effort. Even if you sound crazy, even if you can't say it properly, you know how much I sound like an insane person, probably to Portuguese people here all the time. But do I speak Portuguese every day? You bet your ass I do, all the time. And I know that my grammar is terrible, but you know what? The feedback, because the Portuguese people are very kind and warm, they're always like, "You're doing so great. Your Portuguese is muito bem." And I'm like, "You're a lie. It's terrible."
No,
But
no, I think it's good.
to them, it's not even about, like, again, perception, right? It's not even
Mhm,
about if I'm being technically good. It's about that I'm trying and I recognize
mhm,
this is your country. You have pride. They have pride in their culture. They have pride in their language, as should every other country and nationality. And so I
mhm,
am respectful because I understand it's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to be able
mhm.
to participate and be accepted into any society. And I think, you know, the more we understand that, the greater we'll all be globally. I think the world's in chaos right now because we've just forgotten how connected we are.
Yeah, we're all connected, and we're all here. We all have a purpose, and it's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to spend space and time with people. It's a privilege. It's been a privilege to me to be your friend all these years and to spend
Thank,
space and time with you this evening. So
thank
Christy,
you.
how can people connect with you if they wanted to?
Thank you. Well, of course, they can go to my website, www.christie, and that's Christie, Christie, in Coimbra. So INCOIMBRA, ChristieandCoimbra.com. I am also Christie Goes Global on Instagram. I'm Christie and Coimbra on Instagram. And I also am on LinkedIn as Christy Peter. So any of those methods is fine. They can Google me. Google me.
Yeah. Tap in with Christy, check out her website and the services that she offers. Tap in with her on social media. She provides a wealth of information on real estate, on travel, on cooking, and on Portugal. So tap in with her, tap in with me here, on YouTube, Team AC with Aliyah Crawford. On Instagram, I'm Aliyah Crawford, AliyaCrawford _, and I'm also on TikTok, Aliyah Crawford. So, thank you all for joining us for another episode of Team AC with Aliyah Crawford. Thank you so much, Christy. I love you.
Me too.
Continued blessings and success. Gratitude to you. Thanks again, everybody. Please make
And
sure
thank
you
you for your
subscribe.
audience for taking
Thank
the time to listen to anything I have to say. So I
Thank
appreciate
you,
your audience.
everyone.
Thank you.
Please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video, comment if you have any feedback, even if it's not good feedback. It's okay. I'll take it.
We'll
And
learn. We'll learn from it.
share the video if you gleaned anything that resonates with you from it. So thanks again, everybody. Peace.
Wishing you much success and peace, everyone.